For many Palestinians living in the U.S., trying to reach loved ones in Gaza has become a constant and harrowing struggle. 34-year-old Dorgum Abu Salim first came to the U.S. back in 2008 to pursue an academic scholarship. Today, he works as a writer and communications professional in Washington, D.C. But much of his family still remains in the central Gaza Strip. Amna Nawaz sat down with him in his home earlier today.
For as long as I've been away from home, I've always made sure to at least call my mom once every day.
Every day?
Every day. Lines are not going through.
Even before the war, Dorgum Abu Salim says he was often worried about his 81-year-old father, who's paralyzed, and his 68-year-old mother, who's blind, back home in the town of Deir al-Balah. But today, after relentless Israeli airstrikes have left much of his community in rubble, he lives in constant fear for his family's safety.
Since the war started, how hard has it been to get in touch with your family?
Unbearably hard. It's been very, very difficult. The landlines definitely cannot reach them. The mobiles, that depends if they are charged and if there is cell service. The internet is down most of the time, and all I would get is probably some kind of short text message that pretty much would say that they're alive.
It's been 3 or 4 days since you've been able to reach them.
Yes, yeah.
What are you worried about?
One of the things that really terrifies me and kind of turns my stomach, what would it be like for a blind person to navigate an actual bombing around her or close to her or where she might be? Is she gonna run, tumble, fall to the ground and be killed just like that? How is that for a paralyzed person? What's the exit strategy, right? That's what terrifies me.
His parents, along with his brother and sister and nearly 30 others displaced from this war, are all sheltering in his family's 4-bedroom home.
As a few days ago when I last heard, they were talking about rationing and pursuing rationing water and food and applying children's first rule in terms of, the water and the food, and the supplies are dwindling on all fronts. I don't know if I've mentioned, but my father's diabetic. My mom suffers from hypertension. It's not like pharmacies or medicine are functional or available in the Gaza Strip.
Have you seen what your hometown looks like on the news these days?
Yes. Horrible. I just get really shocked when I hear the names of people who have been murdered by Israeli violence that sound familiar to me.
You recognize those names?
Right. Former classmates, former childhood friends, people that our family have known, some relatives. So it's just really quite horrific. And of course, the extent of destruction and damage, just, seeing these familiar streets being reduced to rubble, it is really quite painful.
You're seeing what's unfolding on the ground. Your family is there. What goes through your mind? How do you not just end up consumed with worry all the time?
I am consumed with worry all the time and fear. And, I just think of the human toll. When I see a child being pulled out of the rubble and surviving, that's wonderful. But I also think, what will that recovery and healing for that child look like? You see, it's very, very easy and very, very quick to kill something. It's much harder to heal something. One particular video that I saw that just, gave me goosebumps and I broke in tears was of a child who had survived an airstrike, an Israeli attack, but was constantly shaking. He was completely shook to the point where it was manifesting physically, and people were trying to calm him down. And I try my best to think that the worst is not going to happen, although that's probably wishful thinking at this point, given the extent of Israeli violence that we're seeing.
Anyone we talk to, Israelis on the ground, Israeli officials will say, this is also an existential threat for them, that they cannot live next to a force that has overtly said they want to end Israel, and that this response is about them protecting themselves after those atrocious attacks by Hamas on October 7th. How do you process that in balance with what your family is going through?
Right. I don't think anyone in their right mind would be relishing this kind of violence on either side. I don't think anyone wanted to get to this point, particularly by choice. Now, in terms of the question of existential threat, I think it goes both ways. Right now, in the Gaza Strip, people are learning that next door is a force that we've known has been violent, but today is being more violent than ever before. Why should we live next to that?
But no matter how dire conditions get in Gaza, Abu Salim says his parents will never leave.
This is the only home we've ever known. My family predates the British and the Israelis. Our records go well into the Ottoman records. My father is 80 years old. Technically, he is older than the State of Israel. So we've always been there. And you know, the idea that anyone should be leaving their home is really quite preposterous. And let's just remember, in the Gaza Strip right now, the overwhelming majority of the population are refugees who are descendants of a prior Israeli aggression that occurred in 1948 and then that occurred in 1967. So some people could become refugees for a second time, some people could become refugees for a third time. And having learned through it all that they would not be able to return to their homes, people, I think, naturally will want to stay and fight for their homes or die there with dignity.